Yeah. Back on the grind, remember the times I'm feeling like Michael. Taking a stand, creating a plan, and beating the cycle. We got a whole lot of what we gotta do. Give me the raw, give me the real, just give me the truth. We start a conversation, then let the world debate it. Breath of fresh air coming through just like ventilation. And no boy, let me tell you about the squad. A dream team, so you know they coming hard. Now first up, let me tell you about Jay. You know he wise, man, that boy got knowledge for days. Check out his mind. Then we got Sean coming through like Thanos, keep him in line. He's a quiet storm, but don't get it twisted, you see the grind. And next up, we gotta talk about Nate. You know she slay. She got the brains and the beauty plus strength to keep you straight. And last but not least, we got Nostradamus. He's the voice of the people, so he'll keep it poppin'. My squad gon' keep it 100, and that's all facts. They're here to spark the conversation. Now you debate that.
Wear those eyelashes to attract a certain group of men. You're changing who you really are because you truly want to wear those, but you just like, I'm not gonna wear it just to attract those men.
Because like it's kind of like if you want to go into like a certain type of club, right? But you ain't y'all dudes can't wear sneakers in there. That club that you want to go to that weekend, you're not gonna wear sneakers. Like I don't.
That's not true. That's not true. It's been plenty of clubs I walked away from because they said, you got sneakers on, you can't come in. And they're like, oh, just go change shoes, go put some hard bottom. I'm like, nah, I'm good. If I can't wear sneakers, I ain't going in.
You ain't going all the way home and coming all the way back. But that makes sense though. Like, okay.
You don't care about going to that club. That's not the club. You whatever. I don't want to go to that club.
I don't want to change to do something is the point. I don't want to change who I am.
It's not that important to you. It's not that important to you.
Change. If it's important to you, people change.
Yeah.
If that's what you want, then people change, bro. They do it all the time.
People elevate.
Yeah, but to not wear eyelashes or to wear hard bottoms to get into a club, I don't think is elevate. I think that's dumb.
No, because they want a certain type of crowd. So if you got to dress a certain type of way, it gets rid of certain people for the most part.
You still could be a bum and a cornball. In that same atmosphere.
I said for the most part.
For the most part.
I said for the most part.
I get what they're saying, man. I get what you're saying.
Don't have a certain group of people don't have no suits, don't have no hard bottoms to even go to the club, right? And I'm guaranteeing you that certain group of people do a certain type of thing. And it's just how it is. Like if you want to be in corporate America and you have to wear a suit to be in corporate America, you're going to get you some suits. Yeah, because that's where you want to be.
When you bring that up, when you bring that up in terms of a job, you're going to make adjustments because that's your livelihood. Messing around with a dude or a chick is not your livelihood for you to make adjustments. I think that's what I said earlier. I think it's a false comparison. It's a bad analogy.
You make adjustments for your wife if she asks you for something.
Hell no, that nigga don't make no adjustments. You know that nigga.
Well then,
I'm gonna tell you why I don't make no adjustments though. I'm gonna tell you why I don't make no adjustments. Because the both of us accept each other for who we are from the get-go.
So it's you telling me there's nothing that a person be like, I don't know, I don't like when you do that.
Listen, I've been in.
I don't like when you do that.
No. See, here's the difference, right? When I was younger, I would try to make changes or accommodate the other person, and those relationships never worked.
So you don't compromise.
So I learned myself to say, you know what? I compromise, but I learned myself to say, this is how I'm going to be. I'm going to find somebody who's going to accept me for who I am, and I'm going to find somebody who I'm going to accept for who they are.
That sounds like some BS because I get I'm going to accept for who I am and accept me for who they are, whatever. I get that because I accept my wife for who she is. But if it's certain things that I don't like, I'm going to be like, yo, I don't particularly like that. And I'm guaranteeing you that she's going to tell me if she don't like something.
Correct.
So then I make adjustments. I'm not changing who I am. I'm making adjustments. I'm compromising because maybe I do need to do, maybe I shouldn't say this, right? Or maybe I shouldn't do this because it makes her feel a bit more comfortable. And can I give this up? I can give this up. It's not.
If you are willing to make those adjustments, it's not changing your identity. If you're willing to make those sacrifices and willing to make those adjustments, you are therefore being selfless. If you can't compromise or make little adjustments, you selfish. You should be with somebody else.
Listen, I'm true story.
Talk that talk.
My high school sweetheart did not like profanity. So when I got with her, I used profanity, but I started to cut down, and at some point, I stopped using profanity because she didn't like it. And then when we broke up, I dropped that first F-bomb, and I felt so much weight off my shoulder. I felt so good, and that right there let me know that look, I shouldn't change who I am for somebody. I should just be who I am, and somebody is going to enjoy me and want me for who I am. I changed my, and now granted, not using profanity, it was probably a benefit, you know what I mean? But it didn't matter. I changed for her. That's not who I really wanted to be.
You want to drop them bombs when you want to, huh?
I hear what you're saying, but there's no way that you do not change anything. No way.
No, you do have to change.
I'm not saying you don't change anything, but what I'm saying is when you change for yourself, not because your spouse doesn't like something.
So you change for yourself.
Yeah, if my wife came to me
like something and you just say, I'm not changing that.
Yeah, if my wife came to me and said, I don't like you wearing skinny jeans. I don't like that. Tough luck. I don't give a shit.
So you like wearing skinny jeans?
I don't. That was just an example.
Right.
That's a. You have plenty of examples out there, but you chose skinny jeans.
So I don't know. Because for me, it's a compromise. I don't like you wearing skinny jeans. Well, look, what do you like me to wear? I like when you wear this. Well, look, how about I wear this sometimes, and I can wear my skinny jeans other times. Let's do a compromise, and I can do this, and I can do that. Right?
That sounds like somebody who have foot rub Sundays.
Hey.
When it comes to my wife, it's I want to be the best. So when we were talking about being the best version of ourselves, I want to be the best version of a husband for her.
This nigga Jay trying to be the people's champ out here, Nostradamus.
I ain't trying to be the people's champ because I don't care about everybody.
And he must be in trouble again.
My responsibility.
He must be in trouble again.
That is what marriage is about.
Listen, my wife started taking this online course, right? And it's not about whether I want her or not want her to do it. She wanted to do it. So I said, all right, babe, do it. I said, she cooks, throughout the house. Hold on. She cooks throughout the week. And this is what I told her. If you ever need to study more, let me know, and I'll cook the days that you need to study more. But I'm not, whether I agree with her going back to school or not, it doesn't matter. She wanted to do it, so I'm gonna let her do it. If I didn't want her to do it, she shouldn't change because I would say, well, I don't want you going to school. She go ahead and do your thing. What I want shouldn't matter.
But that's being supportive.
Correct. And that's a different entity.
I would never tell my wife, don't go back to school. If she want to go back to school, you want to go back to school, let's do it.
But how many people would, though? There are people out there that would say, no, I don't want you going back to school because you're going to take away from the family time that we already have set in place. You're going to take away from the time that you're supposed to be spending with me.
What you're saying, that individual
that sounds like woman.
That's selfish.
That individual is selfish. That's selfish.
Listen, you guys are talking about marriage being selfless, but I would argue that there is a level of selfishness to being married.
There is.
I can say you should be selfish when you're talking about taking care of you. your self-care and making sure that you're good. I don't know if that's considered selfish or not, but taking care of yourself and making sure you're good.
It depends on what you got to do to take care of yourself.
If you're not taking care of yourself, how are you supposed to be able to take care of the individual that you love? The individuals that you love.
Hey, taking care of yourself might be going to the club.
You're going to the club.
Yeah, it could be taking care of yourself.
Taking care of your physical.
You need a break.
Care of your spiritual. You need those attributes to be healthy in order to take care of anybody else. Again, we reach into other different entities.
It's two people you take care of. It's two people you take care of.
I got one.
Hold on. It's two people you take care of. Children and elderly. That's it.
You don't take
my
care
wife. I'm not here to take care of my wife. My wife a grown ass woman. She does what she does.
Bro, you selfish, bro.
Dude, hey, you lost me. I mean,
you selfish, bro.
You know what I mean? But like my wife and the situation that she's in right now, right? If she needs something, I'm gonna make sure I get it to her, and that's me taking care of my wife. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make sure I get it to her,
and vice versa, and vice versa.
So I think you guys just have a different definition of taking care of your spouse than I do.
What is your definition of taking care of a spouse?
I'm doing stuff for my spouse. Right now, I may have to pick up. So I have to pick up some slack right now because she's taking care of other stuff. She's taking care of that. I'm taking care of this. And there's certain things that she may need that I'm going to make sure she gets so I can make sure she's good. I'm going to take care of my wife. In this moment right now, she needs me to do these things so I can make sure she's good. So then what is your definition of taking care of your significant other? Or is that even a thing?
Taking care of your spouse is when you do for them something that they can do for themselves.
So we agreeing, right?
What I'm saying is, okay, as for your kid can't feed themselves, so you feed your kid. You're taking care of them, right? They can't drive to go from here and there. They could get on their bike if they want. Some kids to do that, but if they need to go long distance, you're driving them. You're taking care of them. My wife can drive, so if she needs to go somewhere, she's gonna drive herself.
You won't drive her?
Whether I will or not is not the thing. Like if I have nothing to do and I want to drive her, then that's different. But if she can do it if she could do it herself, then she can do it herself.
So
but that's a different ball game.
And she wants you to come.
A different ball game.
She gets in an accident and she wants you to come and be there. But she can get home by herself. Like, do you go and be there?
If she gets in an accident, yeah.
But like everything is good, but she just wants you there. Like she wants you to come there. And is that not taking care of your wife? Or is that something else?
If she got rear-ended a little bump at 2 miles an hour and she'd be like, "Oh babe, I'm shaking up. I need you to come meet me over there." I'm be like, "Dude, by the time I get over there, everything's gonna be cleared out. So you might as well drive on home." Like you got bumped by 2 miles an hour. Like, but if it's an accident to where there's injuries or the car can't run, then I'm gonna come take her. And if she's distraught and she's like, I'm devastated, I can't move, then I'm gonna go because she can't do for herself. So I got to go take care of her. But if it's something that she could do for herself, I don't do. I'm not taking care of her. It's only two people you take care of: elderly and children. Grown adults you don't take care of.
So she can rub her own feet, right?
You got a lot of conditions to your love, bro. You got a lot of conditions to your love.
No, but you know what? It works. It works for them.
No, I don't, because that nigga full of shit.
No, it works for them. It works for them.
Nah, to each his own. To each his own.
Nostradamus will be right there, even if it was she hit a curve. Like, oh shoot, I hit the curve. Where you at?
So I got a new question. How important is communication in the marriage?
Oh, ain't no other way.
No.
I go through that right now on a day-to-day.
and what is communication? So we've made it known that important. The laugh, the lean backs, and everything just said yes, communication is important. But what is communication? What does that look like?
Nigga, sometimes it could just be good morning to me. To be like, hey, good morning. Hey, you can't say, hey, communicate.
Communication. I don't know. I won't be able to verbalize this definition.
Is it only communication?
No, So I think communication starts with being able to listen, not to respond, but truly listen to hear what that other individual is saying. That's where it starts.
So what is that called?
Listening? Wait, what? Wait.
So what is that? So you listening to do what? So you
to
say
respond.
To understand. Listening to understand.
Okay.
No?
Hey, I'm just digging. I'm
a work in progress. I listen to see how I can come back.
Respond.
How I can respond.
Yeah.
Listen, there's communication is 5 steps to communicating, okay? It's basically action in words. So the 5 steps of communicating is, there's a sender that has a message. They have to encode their message, and then they have to transmit it. And then it gets to the receiver, and the receiver has to decode it, and then they have to understand it. So there's a process of me thinking what I want to tell you, relaying that message to you, you decoding it, and then understanding it, and then going back and forth so we can have an understanding. It's action through words. That's communication.
I was about to tell you to give me the street term of it, because all of that stuff you're talking was kind of off.
Truth in the back say, it sounds like a math problem. To me, it's what Nostradamus said is, I mean, I understand it. It's true. But like what I'm thinking is, is communication important? Yes, but I also think you need to understand, because so when you coded it, to Nostradamus' point, when you coded it and you gave me the information and I got to decode it, I have to understand
from your point of view,
from the other person's point of view. I have to understand what it is, because you can just tell me and I can understand it the way I understand it, but is that the way that they were trying to give me the information? So then
that's when the process go back. That's when the process go back, and then you get their point of view, and it just keeps bouncing back and forth.
I also think there's a level of empathy that has to be there.
Oh,
you're right.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes I just may not understand where you're coming from.
Some things you can't.
And I just never been through it. And so the empathy part for me is, you know what? I don't totally understand, but I'm willing to try to understand what you're going through. But so to me, I think those things matter.
It's important, but I think really communication only is necessary, is important, but is necessary when things aren't working. And what I mean by that is, let's say you got a basketball team, right?
Mm-hmm.
You learn the system and you play that way, and you guys are winning games. There's no point to communicate about nothing, because the wheels are turning how it's supposed to. But when somebody gets out of place and that system starts to fail, now you got to communicate about that failure. And that's when the communication becomes key, because something's not working. So you got to communicate to get things on the right track.
I don't 100% agree. Here we go. I don't agree with that.
Hey, I sort of agree.
part of what
No.
But if there's no communication and you're just like, okay, this is working, so let's just keep rolling with it, the other team is going to figure you out. How do you get better?
Because at that point, something's not going to work, and then you figure out how to get better when you decipher and say, this part is the weakness. Now, how do we strengthen this part? And that's when the communication starts working.
No, but you got to communicate through the process anyway, so that it won't go bad. You got to communicate through that process so it won't fail, so it won't go back, so you won't reach the point where it's not doing good. Nah, man. You on another level today, not
Kobe. People looked at Kobe as being great. People looked at Jordan as being great, but these dudes stayed in the gym. Even though they were considered great, they still got in the gym because they felt like, I can work on this, I can work on this, I can get better here, I can get better here, and they're winning. But they're still looking at, I can get better here, 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 and here. So for me, even if things are going great, hey guys, let's look at, we're winning, we're great, we're winning, but where in here can we do a little bit better? Where in here can we move up a little bit? Because somebody is seeing, if you're staying right here, and what was that?
That's a routine.
Talent, what is it? Nostradamus, I know you know. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And when a person gets to a certain level and they're like, oh, we winning, we good, those people that's working hard are coming for you. They coming to get you. I mean, that's how people lose championships. That's how people lose Super Bowls. Like, just happen. That's how people lose.
My individual work ethic doesn't have anything to do with my communication, though.
What you mean?
You know, if I want to work hard, then I want to work hard, but that doesn't have anything to do with communicating why something is or isn't working. When you have something in place, and it's working, there's no point to communicate anything about that. I'm going to communicate about something that's not working.
And I would have to honestly say, unfortunately, I have to agree with Nostradamus. But hold on. But I see what he's saying, because for an example, you look at where we at now in quarantine, and you hear about all these relationships that's failing, some progressing. You know what I mean? They go hand in hand. But you got people who had a routine. You know, you get up, you get dressed for work. You know, hey, how you doing? Good morning. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be, to keep your that was the norm in your home. You know what I mean? At that point, you're not thinking that there's a communication problem. You know what I mean? This is the routine. You know what I mean? And you still communicate, you eating dinner, you talking. Yeah, you ain't having no intimate conversation and this and that, maybe, but you're communicating, you're talking. So there's no beef in the home. But like he said, when there's an issue is when those red flags come up. And then you start to think, you start to look at it and be like, hey, you know, now we have a communication problem, because prior to that, it was peace in the household. You know what I mean? Because
bruh. I see where both of you are coming from. And I agree with you all the way up until y'all, are you complacent? When you get to that point and you're like, there's no beef in the house, are you complacent?
Yeah, that is complacent. That's that's the routine.
Because growth stops where complacency starts.
I agree with
Thank you
1,000%. But I'm just saying, that's how people see it.
So hold on. Hold on. You're saying it's okay to be there. I'm going to be good with where we're at in this box right here. We're good right here. Because at this moment, nothing is wrong.
Maybe for the moment, yeah. So therefore, you're not cutting each other up with, you know what I mean, being disrespectful to one another because one person ain't listening to the other, or vice versa, whatever. So at that point in your mind, it's peace. You're like, oh shoot, we ain't beefing. Oh, we good. You know what I mean? Hey, I love you. Good morning. Blah blah blah. Good night. You know what I mean? You might have a little intimacy here and there, whatever. So you're not realizing that there's anything broken, but at the end of the day, you gotta understand.
I don't think it's complacency though. Like when the routine is working, I don't think it's complacent. I think that's just the routine, and then whenever it stops working and somebody makes an issue of it, that's when the communication has to happen.
But you have to have the conversation like, yo, I see everything is rolling, right? Everything is rolling. We good. Do you see anything that maybe we should work on? Because maybe I was thinking we should try this. Or
nigga,
So you
who go
looking for a
digging?
problem?
Who the hell go digging, nigga? You crazy.
you're not looking for a problem, but
Nigga,
people are going to change.
You sound like you're digging.
It's not
Listen,
looking for a problem. I'm communicating with a person to make sure to see if we can make it better. And if
my wife
we
and I,
can't make it better, then we can't. We good here.
if my wife and I have a
Yeah.
schedule to where she's picking up kids and is working, you think I'm gonna go ask her, are you okay with picking up the kids? No. We've already talked about you picking up the kids. You haven't brought an issue to me, so you're gonna continue doing that, and I'm gonna continue doing what I've been doing.
I see. So that's where we differ. Because for my wife, right? For my wife, when I speak to my wife, I always want to make sure she's in a good space. So even if things are rolling smooth, right? I'm still going to be like, yo, is there anything that's concerning you, a little bit or whatever, and let's talk about that. You know what I mean?
Ladies love Cool J because this nigga right here, boy.
Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Listen.
Shoot.
That situation where everything is good can turn really, really quick.
But to your point,
it'll shift. Like they'll be doing it because it's the routine, and they'll be going through it, but mentally they hate it. But
okay,
you're not.
But to your point, that's why communication is important. She should be adult enough to let you know that is not working. That's called communication.
No,
you shouldn't have to go prying stuff out.
Jay's trying to beat it to the punch.
Like you, bro. Sometimes people just deal with stuff. But if you ask them or if you talk to them, and then they may open up. Otherwise, they may just keep rolling with it because sometimes people are just passive. And you may just have to ask. And if they say, "No, we good," then you good. But then that may give them an opportunity to open up because they didn't. It's not a matter of not being an adult or being an adult. It's just how a person is raised, how they handle situations. You are straightforward. You listen, straight from the hip.
My wife and I have a thing that we say to each other. My wife and I have a thing that we say to each other. Mm-hmm. I can't read your mind.
You took the words out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say next. We're not mind readers, but that's why that's why it's important to communicate because nobody's mind readers.
Right. When there's an issue. Right. That's what I'm saying. When there's an issue,
that's why it's important to communicate.
But
I said it was important.
But even
so, I would just ask the question just to make sure.
Even still, okay.
Everything good? You straight?
What about so here's an example, right? I went on a date and I enjoyed myself. I said, thank you. I appreciate it. I really had a great time. But the way I guess, showed that I had a great time, he didn't understand that I'm a little more laid back. I'm a little more, you know what I'm saying? Like, my nerves was rocking a little bit on the date. So, like, it's not that I didn't enjoy myself. I was just, kind of just at bay. Yeah, I was kind of at bay. So, he heard that I said I had a good time. And then a couple days after that, he was like, yo, like, I didn't think we were making this hard. Why? Because, like, I know you said that you had a good time, but I just, like...
Your body language said different.
Yeah, right, exactly. Or like, and I was like, nah, like, I had a great time. Like, I'm still here. So then my next question was like, well, why didn't you, like, if you were kind of concerned about whether or not I'm having a good time, why didn't you ask? Why you ain't say nothing?
Because he can't ask you that from a date because then he gonna be looking as being thirsty.
Basically.
No, on, man. I don't read your mind. And if you felt that when I said I had a good time, but you didn't feel that I had a good time, then you could be like, he could have easily said, well, are you sure? Because I don't know. You don't seem like you're having a good time. And then I would have been like, nah, like I'm having a good time.
It sounds good. It sounds good, but when you're on an interview, you put your best foot forward on that. Is this the first time y'all went out?
Is the original scenario the first time we went out?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking me?
Yes. Okay, so he's trying to put his best foot forward, just like he's at an interview. You know, so of course he's not going to try to ruffle no feathers and be like, nah, I don't feel like you really had a good time. You know, he's going to take it for what you say. But then at the end of the day, he like, damn, I'm looking at her body language, looking at her mood. She probably not, you know, feeling it like that.
When, you
it's
just
the truth.
Vacation, but now y'all saying you ain't want to look like you ain't want to look thirsty. Listen,
because she changed the scenario up.
Just because you go over there, everybody don't want to ask a million questions.
I'm gonna ask a question because I want to understand, right? So I'm just gonna ask the question. If you talk about me being thirsty, then you ain't the one for me because I'm gonna ask.
You sound like Donna. Nigga, I can have a spat with Donna and I can wake up the next day and be like, I'm good. Nigga, it's a new day. I ain't even thinking about yesterday. Hey, we on a new slate.
No, I get that.
At that point, no.
That's in the moment.
But no, I'm just saying though. I'm saying in a sense of, like, for an example, you're talking about communicating and you like to go dig in and ask some questions. At the end of the day, I give you true examples. For an example, if me and Donna go into a whatever, she might be feeling some type of way. Me being a straight shooter, like Nostradamus, some stuff, you know what I mean? You grew up where you read and, you know, you see your parents or whoever, you know, yeah, people who, you know, you look for, you know, help with different stuff. Regardless, when you start realizing that little-ish don't matter, so the shit just run off your back and you just like, no, it's a new day. I ain't even holding nothing. So you personally, you straight. You like, I'm good. I ain't sweating that. That's yesterday, whatever. I don't need to go asking questions. Oh, you straight? Anything in here bothering you? Because in my mind, I'm like, shit, I'm good. I went to sleep. I ain't losing no sleep. And I used to throw shade like that today. So my wife would be like, she'd be like, oh, you I forget what she told me, but I'm like, nigga, I ain't about to lose no sleep. You know me. But I'm being 100. So at that point, I'm like, I'm really going not lose no sleep because I ain't worried about it. Because when I wake up the next day, God willing, I'm Gucci.
To you, that's something little. To her, it may not be little.
Yes, I agree. But when it comes to, like I said, man, you got big stuff popping out here. You know what I mean? Whether it's people creeping and different stuff. But I'm not the one to say what's big and small to a person. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, if it's petty, it's petty. And I'm just like, look, get over it, move on. I ain't about to ask you no questions, go digging. Hey, you want to talk about anything? Hell no. Let's go to the next day. Hey, we good. I ain't beefing with you.
Here's the thing.
I think it's important to have a balance because I'm not a grudge holder. So like I kind of be like the next day, all right, I'm good to go. Like we good. But I think dismissing the other person's feelings, whether or not like it's maybe they are grudge holders and it is still a big deal to them. If you love that person, you gotta be selfless even in that.
No, but here's the thing. Like what I hear is he's moved on, but I'm sure if his wife communicated to him that she has not moved on, and for whatever reason she has not moved on, I'm sure he would communicate with her to address the issues. But that's on her to communicate to him that, look, I know it's a new day, but I'm not over it. We need to talk about it. He's not gonna go looking for the issue.
But I'm stubborn though, so I'm still not trying to hear it.
This is a whole nother entity.
But like Nate said, look, I don't hold grudges, okay? But there's a big but there. I can keep it moving.
Anything you said before.
You're right, but it's kind of.
He said "but" twice, so he negated his butt.
Listen,
but hold on. But this is the emphasis on the T. But you know, everything is gone.
This is the only thing with me. I can be petty, king of petty.
You know how many times you be saying that in our episodes?
I just want people to know I'm petty.
Petty what?
We need a Sean. I am petty.
King of petty. But I'm about to tell you though, I can keep it moving. But if I feel that you want to bring up some stuff, now the difference is, I guess what helped me and what makes me not hold a grudge is the fact that in some cases, yes, it don't matter right or wrong. Okay, you could be right, you could be wrong, whatever, it don't matter. But when you know you're not wrong about a situation, it's like, okay, I'm at peace. You know why? Because I know I ain't do this, so I'm good. So my conscience is clear. I ain't protecting nobody's feelings at that point but my own. So at this point, I'm like, look, don't bring up no ish. I can keep it moving, but if you bring up some ish, and then when I be like, well, you just did blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's tick for tack? Oh, hell no. There ain't no tick for tack. I'm just letting you know this is what it is. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is to give you an example of exactly the same scenario. So I'm just using that stuff as painting pictures. I'm like Picasso at that point. So, hey, at the end of the day, like I said,
we're going down in the rabbit hole with this one.
I don't feel.
So I think we can agree.
I believe communication is.
It's key. It's key.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Hold on. Huh?
I got one last thing.
Okay.
I do too.
Okay. For me, I've been with my wife for years. So even when my wife don't speak, I can tell when something's wrong with my wife.
What's wrong?
Correct.
So then I can hit her with a something ain't right. What's going on? What's going on?
Correct.
And then, but that has something to do with being intimate.
What did she say? Nothing. What did she say? Nothing, nigga.
Huh?
What did she say? Nothing, nigga.
I know she's lying, but then at that point, I know she don't want to talk about it right then.
Right then. Exactly.
So do you go digging again later on, 2 days later? So, babe,
I'm going to go back to it because here's the thing: when you don't address those things that those things that are bothering you, then they come up as something else.
They fester. They become resentful. They become bitterness. You have to address
internalizing stuff. Then that could come out on me. Like I could say something one day and she straight flip because she's been holding all that stuff, and now I just said one little thing that she took a completely different way, and now I'm the recipient of everything that she's been holding on to from something else. So me digging is trying to understand, so then I can be empathetic if something like that happens, because otherwise I'm gonna be like, yo, why are you screaming on me? But when I understand that it's not me, it's coming from something else, then I can help her to get through whatever that situation is. But if I don't know, then I'm thinking you coming at me. So I'm not just going to sit here and let you come at me. I'm going to come for you. And now we got a whole new problem. Because I'm not just going to sit there and just let you keep coming at me. I might let you do it once or twice. But after that, look, I'm going right back at you. And if you didn't talk to me and tell me what it was, then it's hard for me to have empathy in that situation.
Hey, that's facts.
So I think we can agree that, communication is important. And if you don't communicate about those things and she comes at you, it could get difficult, or things could get very combative, for lack of better terms. But how do you guys feel about the cliche saying marriage ain't easy?
It's not easy, but
It's easy as you make it.
It's not. I'm gonna say it's not easy, but anything worth keeping is worth fighting for. So if for the, I mean, we talk sports here. So if you want to win that ship, it's not gonna be easy getting there, but you want it, so you're gonna work hard to get there, right? And in that process of getting there, there's gonna be moments and things that happen that bring the team closer together. And getting your marriage to a point where you can truly understand the communication aspect of it, understanding and then having that empathy in that process of getting there is going to bring you guys closer together if you're both looking to get to that one common goal. So I think it's not easy, but it's not hard to the point that it can't happen.
So you what you said was it's not easy, and you got to work towards getting there or whatever. I always tell people, if you got to work harder at keeping your marriage together than what you're enjoying, it ain't the right marriage for you. You should be able to enjoy your marriage more than what you're working at it. And in that respect, it should be easy when you're enjoying it more than how hard you're working.
When I'm saying work, there's work that has to be done on yourself. There's work that you guys got to do together so you can handle things better together. Now, I'm not saying you got to work at keeping somebody out the streets or something like that. I did say at the end, you're trying to reach one common goal. But in trying to reach that one common goal, if you came up, like my parents and my mom and dad, we had a very loving, there was I love yous flying everywhere, right? And then for my wife, there was not I love yous flying everywhere. So we both want to get to this goal. We both want to be the best version of ourselves, but we got to figure out how she can get some I love yous, and I may not be sending as many I love you, whatever. We got to find out how to meet in the middle so we can reach this common goal. That takes work because I got to get used to a different person, a different culture. I got to get used to all that. That takes a little bit.
But you working on yourself. You working on yourself. You guys working together for your marriage. That might it might be fun for you guys, right? And
Not
you guys
all the
might
time.
not all the time, but you might be enjoying your marriage more than what you're not enjoying it, even though you're working. Some people, they work on themselves, they work with their spouse, and it becomes a burden, and they can't stand, or it's not fun for them, and they don't want to be around this person. That's not the right marriage for you. You're not enjoying it anymore, and you're working harder at it.
But
then you're enjoying it.
Peaches and cream all the time. So it may be times that you just like, this is frustrating me. But then there's other times where this is great. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, so for me, that's where I'm talking about the work that has to come in. Because in those times where you're like, oh my God, this is frustrating me, you're going to have to work to get through that. And then there's going to be times where it's just like, oh, everything is great. And that's going to be the times where it's just smooth. You just be chilling. And then it may be just a little bit of times where it's a little bit of turmoil in the middle, but you guys got it. You understand what it is and you push through. But those are the valleys and the mountains that you're going to have. And you're going to have to be able to move through those and navigate, but understanding that I'm still trying to reach this common goal.
True.
Yeah. I think there's like just to piggyback off of y'all both, Jay and I'm. I think it isn't easy, but the willingness that you have as an individual to put in the work, that has to come effortlessly. If you're forcing yourself to work in a way, like how you use the word burden, like it's a burden. I think in a marriage, and of course I'm speaking to like coming into marriage in the right way, with nowadays that doesn't happen a lot, but truly coming into the marriage the right way, we know that there's going to be a whole adventure that you're about to get into. And like Jay said, there are some things that are not going to be. But if you have this kind of willingness, it's not just
What
me
you laughing
hearing
at?
this, right?
I just heard some music come out of nowhere.
That's why I said, don't do that. Don't
I heard it too.
Not just me.
I was like, who is that? Somebody got a game that popped up on their phone just out of nowhere. All right, my bad. Go ahead, Nate.
Nah, because I'm in my head. Listen, I'm trying to ignore it because in my head I'm like, am I the only one hearing this? Because I heard it.
I thought it was just me.
There has to be a willingness, yo. There has to be that willingness, and the willingness is the effortless. So, which meaning that regardless of the obstacles that you go through, you know that this is what you want to do. You want to go through this with this person.
I like it.
Be there.
I like it. Final thoughts. Final thoughts. We went everywhere. So, but it was all under the umbrella of marriage. I get it. So it might be a lot to encapsulate, but let's narrow it down so we can go ahead and close. What y'all got?
Go ahead. You first.
Oh, so for me, go ahead, Nate.
Don't jump in. Okay, so for me, I learned a lot in my experience of being married. From the time that I got married to the point that I got divorced, it was an entire journey that I can say, I couldn't say this before, but now I can say was the best thing that ever happened to me. One of the best things that ever happened to me is me getting married, and the other was me getting that divorce. From my own personal experience, where I am now as an individual, I have grown so much, I've learned so much. And from sitting back and observing and learning things from other people's experiences, I've grown this depth of wisdom that honestly is just I can't even verbalize truly where I'm at in my life right now. And I think it's just important, marriage on the whole, because we were all over the place. It's so important to make sure that you as an individual have an understanding of purpose before you try to join yourself with another person. If you don't have an understanding of purpose and why you're put here and what we're put here for, then just hold off. It might not be your time yet. I think marriage is a beautiful thing. I one day will be married again, and I can't wait for the opportunity. But right now, the process that I'm going through now, I'm learning. I'm learning about myself. So prepare yourself. I'm learning about other individuals. This is the time to learn. If you're not married and this is something that you desire one day, this is the time for you to learn.
You can go ahead, Sean.
All right. For me, I mean, I think it's more so don't rush to get married. There's no need to rush. You know what I mean? I mean, at the end of the day, you got to do what's right. Do what you, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted over here. I got people with my daughter waving at me. But at the end of the day, don't rush. You know what I mean? It should be a lifetime investment. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I mean, I think, you know, for the most part, I'm gonna be real, Jay. You're very inspiring. You're the people's champ on this joint, especially when it comes to marriage. You know what I mean? Because I'll be honest, you know what I mean? Iron sharpens iron. You know what I mean? Just like I know I can come to you for whatever, you know, vice versa. You know, same with Nostradamus. But at the end of the day, and of course, that's not to neglect my sister Nay here, because she does give she giving you guys both sides of the coin here when it comes to being married.
I'm dropping. Y'all better get a notebook and a pen and pay attention.
Correct. I agree 1,000%. But you know, what I mean, it takes a lot. It's a lot of discipline. You know what I mean? Especially, I mean, you just got to get the principles down pat of what marriage should mean to you. You know what I mean? Don't get married because somebody rushing you to get married. Make sure it's something that you're ready for and that you want to do. And it's, it's a beautiful thing when you do it and you're with the right person. But like I said, Jay, I salute you, my brother. You know, you give me inspiration to be a better man, not so petty, because I am petty and I accept it. I'm a Taurus. I'm very stubborn and I can hold stuff for a long time and be just fine. But that's not how it should be. And I can accept that. But I keep saying but, so I know I'm neglecting stuff. But at the end of the day, no, I salute you. I respect everything that you do. Like I say, you open my eyes to new things all the time. And for those who are watching, like I said, taking notes. There's no perfect marriage. It's what you make of it. And I mean, we discussed a lot of stuff, and you got a bunch of different perspectives on different things. So you take what you need, just like you take anything else. Put it together how you need fit for you. You know what I mean? And hopefully you make the best decisions going forward.
All right. So for me, the first thing I would say is my marriage has not been smooth all the way through. Y'all know that. And so when Sean says, I'm an inspiration, well, he's part of that inspiration because it was a time that my wife and I wasn't together. And Sean was the one that was like, yo, y'all need to quit playing. Y'all need to get back together and make it work. Like, so part of the reason I'm here is because of him. Part of the reason I'm here is because of Nostradamus. Part of the reason I'm here is because of Nay. Like, I'm at this place because these people challenge me. And in challenging me, I had to pay more attention to my wife to figure out the things that she wants and likes and so forth and so on. So there is no perfect marriage, and we definitely don't have one. I just work and she work. So, and I have to attribute that to the people that's in my life that helped me get to this point. So it's not nothing I've done on my own. And before you get married, you also have to take a look at Tanae's point, your purpose. You need to figure out what it is that you're here to do, because trying to figure out who you are and what you want to do in life, the time to do that isn't when you're married, because then when it gets to the point where people be like, we just grew apart. Well, they never knew who they were in the beginning. And then when they got into marriage, they're trying to figure this out. And now I want to be this person, but I didn't sign up for that. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? So then it becomes, if you know what you're doing in the beginning, you can say, hey, this is what I'm doing, X, Y, and Z, boom, boom, boom. Do you want to be part of this? Yes or no? And we can figure that out now. And what are you trying to do? Does that mesh? Let's make it work. And then at the end of the day, man, you guys just gotta look at the marriage. What does that mean to you, right? And why you're getting married? Figure that out. And then, try to be the best version of yourself as a husband or a wife, and just strive to do that. So that's all I got. Nostradamus, you got something? I know you got something.
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because you had a whole dissertation.
It's cool.
For me, listen, everybody gets married for different reasons. Know yourself. Know the person who you want to get married to. Make sure the boxes are checked because you know yourself. And when you're in a marriage, just take it seriously, or take it seriously however your relationship is, because every marriage is different. And that's it. Just know your own reasons, and it'll work.
All right. Take us out, Miss Nay.
Thanks so much, guys, for joining us. Another episode of Debate That. So what do y'all think? What's your definition of marriage? What's the purpose of marriage? Do y'all even believe in marriage? Comment below. Don't forget to share our videos, subscribe, like us. We want to see that you guys are commenting, because we want to know that these conversations are adding value to you. That's our purpose here. We want to add value to you. Thanks so much again, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Yeah. Back on the grind, remember the times I'm feeling like Michael. Taking a stand, creating a plan, and beating the cycle. We got a whole lot of work we gotta do. Give me the raw, give me the real, just give me the truth. We start a conversation, then let the world debate it. Breath of fresh air coming through just like ventilation. And no boy, let me tell you about the squad. A dream team, so you know they coming hard. Now first up, let me tell you about Jay. You know he wise, man, that boy got knowledge for days. Check out his mind. Then we got Sean coming through like Thanos, keep him in line. He's a quiet storm, but don't get it twisted, you see the grind. And next up, we gotta talk about Nate. You know she slay. She got the brains and the beauty plus strength to keep you straight. And last but not least, we got Nostradamus. He's the voice of the people, so he'll keep it poppin'. My squad gon' keep it 100, and that's all facts. They're here to spark the conversation. Now you debate that.